to MSU eSports. My name is Tarren Dachtler, here with my co-host, Herick. Today will be the first match of Michigan State University's eSports program. We're going to talk about the 6.8 patch notes right here.
Current patch that we're going to be playing on.
First thing we're going to talk about is going to be Herick, the big Herick rework. He received a lot of changes.
Yeah, the glorious Herick change.
Nearly all of his abilities were changed completely, especially his ultimate. That's huge. But his E is a possible 5-man stun. W is a what's called a ability that links all of his abilities together, as well as a shield. And his Q is a big AoE heal. His overall playstyle remains the same. It's kind of like almost like a cleric, like a fighter. Like he heals while also battling.
Yeah,
it's really neat. But his ultimate is a lot more impactful, which I like that a lot. It's a lot bigger than it used to be.
The one thing, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I definitely like the change. I'm sad that they took away the smash hammer on Herick. You know, it just kind of it has some of that flavor of the champion that I felt that it lost. I guess it kind of moves us right on into the to the Echo. The Echo nerf is substantial, but I still don't think it's going to be quite enough. There's a 5%. It went down from 5% to 3% missing health on the W. Yeah, the AP ratios went up 1% from 50 per 33. One of the things that I really think this is going to change is that it takes away just the whole, like, everybody can be a tank meta. Echo was too ridiculous, had too much, too much burst and tankiness.
Yeah. Like the big thing about him beforehand was like he could just build whatever he wanted and he could deal as much damage as he wanted. Nowadays, like with no AP, you could just build tank, just armor, cooldown reduction, no big deal. Now with the new changes, his AP scalings went up by a decent amount, with the base damages getting hit quite a bit. So I think now we're going to be seeing more maybe some early AP like Abyssal Scepter or Hourglass, as opposed to only Frozen Fist, Iceborne.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I definitely think it's also going to open up the floor for some more AP Echo, rather than just solely seeing tank and stuff like that. I really think that we might see it mid.
The next thing I think we should talk about is the big Graves change on his auto attacks, basically his passive. We're both big Graves lovers.
Gotta love him.
And while technically this is a nerf, overall it's a rebalance. I think that overall it's really healthy for him, and it's really nice. Because beforehand, everybody loved him as like the AD carry. Though right now he's only played as top lane and jungle, which I do still like playing him top lane and jungle, but you only build like these really like safe,
the nitty gritty sustain almost type of like
items. You can't build AD carry like crit.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the big things I like. So even though they slightly nerfed Graves' auto attack, I like the way that they changed it, making crit more viable. It makes you feel as more of an AD carry. Graves has always been notorious for feeling almost like the biggest caster AD carry that there's been. So I really like that it brings back in the let me crit on your face. It's lovely.
Yeah, crits are way bigger now. I love it a whole lot. Beforehand, crits still felt good, but you had to be literally melee range in order to do enough damage. Now, crits will still feel good even if you're at his max range, which is really, really nice.
Yeah, it feels like the cigar is slightly put back in Graves' mouth. That shotgun just feels a little bit more like a shotgun.
Yeah. The next thing we'll talk about is the MF changes.
Misfortune.
Those are actually pretty big for MF mains. Like, I don't play all that much, and I won't notice it too much. But the way her W worked beforehand was if you applied her passive, which is like every new thing that you auto attack applies passive extra damage. Every time you apply that passive while your W is up, it would extend the duration. The way it works now is it received some cooldown changes and some duration changes, but now instead of extending the duration,
it looks like the draft is underway. So let's look into the picks and bans for game 1.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, first things first, we're seeing Caitlyn looking like she's going to lock that in for bot lane.
Yeah, a lot of pick intents going on here. Not sure what's going on with
we have kind of some change in the messageries. So looks like Scion's locking in top lane. First ban is Echo top. Like I said, I do not think that the nerfs are enough.
Yeah, his damage got nerfed a bit, but he's still as tanky as ever and as annoying as ever. So like until they hit something else, like his ultimate or something, I think he's still going to remain at least somewhat relevant. Especially you could still build AP and do a lot of damage. Especially.
The second ban that we saw down go was Kindred, which
she's a big deal.
Big fan of the Kindred ban right now.
Yeah, like her ultimate makes her like really safe while she does a ton of damage as like a jungle AD carry, which
sickening amounts of damage.
Really sickening amounts of damage.
Oh, unfortunately, we see the glorious Herick ban go down. We will not be seeing the Herick remake in this match.
It's really unfortunate because I want to see more of them.
No gems.
Yeah, no gems this game. Like, I got to play a little bit of him in Nerf mode. He's a lot of fun, but I want to see him. I want to actually be able to practice and see some of them in the actual games.
Yeah, see the new potential and stuff like that. See what the people in the high elo are doing with it.
Yeah. All right, next ban is Nidalee. Makes a lot of sense. She has a lot of early game jungle pressure and clear speed. It's really dumb. Really good. Next up is Zed. Again.
Oh yeah, the Zed classic assassin ban. You know, a lot of people play Zed for like the pick off ability and whatnot, and high ban rate.
Let's see. See, he's pretty strong right now. Even after like the merc, with the merc changes coming up, he might see a little bit less play. Pretty worried about that. The
last ban, we see the Gragas ban come down. That's all jungle bans for the blue side.
That's pretty interesting. He's pretty strong right now. Does a lot of damage while being pretty tanky. He can build that runic echoes, or if he's really behind, he can do Cinder Hulk if he really wants to. Looks like we might be having a Shiv pick.
Yeah, okay. So it's a first pick Shiv, and it looks like it's going to be immediately followed up by Sai on top.
Okay. I like the Shiv pick generally, especially in solo queue, because it's like gank potential is like not the greatest, but still pretty good. But the main thing is the early jungle clear is insanely fast.
Oh, so
still,
fast.
Even after her various nerfs of the last patches, she's still got a fast clear.
Yeah, the dragon is still strong. Oh, we see Malzahar going down.
Malzahar support, unless he's picking for somebody.
I think it's going to look like a switch. I'm not sure, just because we see the Blitzcrank down.
Yeah. Okay, so that's, probably do. Or actually no. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so yeah,
they got the Braum pick down though, so we're gonna see Braum and Trundle.
Okay, yeah, and it's actually a really big deal for the blue side. They see the Trundle and the Braum at the same time because Trundle's actually a really solid pick bot lane as well. So like the fact that like the support knows that he's going against Braum as opposed to Trundle, because otherwise you would have no idea.
Oh, so they picked Caitlyn into it.
Okay, that's not bad at all. I like the Caitlyn pick. It's pretty safe.
Ooh, and the Yi pick went down. Oh man, I hope to see Yi go off this match.
Okay, yeah. He did get some changes this patch. Didn't hit him too hard, just a slight nerf to the cooldown on his ultimate, and the numbers on his duration and the extended duration where he gets a killer assist got changed up a little bit to reward him for activating his ultimate when he should.
Yeah, he'll really have to choose, like, that'll decipher between a good Yi and a great Yi. So next we see down Lucian and Morgana. Those are the two picks that are, and followed by Soraka on the blue side.
It's a very solid and safe bot lane on Lucian, Morgana. Pretty huge.
So this will be interesting. Interesting matchup.
Yeah, interesting match. Okay, and Soraka. Okay, I'm assuming.
We gotta wait and make sure that nobody dodges.
Yeah,
this
hopefully
match.
nobody dodges. Assuming, hopefully, the switch is gonna happen. If a dodge is gonna happen, it's gonna happen right here because of that. Hopefully it doesn't happen.
Fingers crossed, everyone.
Fingers crossed. Woo.
So how do you think this bot lane's gonna play out with the whole Lucian Braum versus Soraka and Caitlyn?
Let's see. It's a pretty passive lane on both sides. Obviously, like the only like real aggression that can happen is if let's say Morgana lands a Q and Soraka. If Morgana lands a Q on Soraka, that's basically it. If Morgana lands a Q on the Caitlyn there, Caitlyn can eventually EOA. Soraka will sustain her, and no fun times will be had.
When you have a Raka, there are just some ludicrous plays that you can get off. Just so much sustain. It is quite bonkers.
Yeah,
even with the poke. And as it's already going to be more of a passive lane, so I mean, I'm not quite sure how that's going to transition into the mid game and team fights.
Yeah.
So what about mid lane?
Mid lane, was it Malzahar versus who was it?
They threw down the Zed ban.
Anyway, jungle was Shyvana versus was blue side? I can't remember anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Or Morgana? Wait, mid pick was Morgana?
Yeah, that was actually a mid Morgana, and it was Braum that was support. So we're gonna see Morgana versus Malzahar.
Braum, okay. Oh, Braum can actually get a lot done bot lane.
Yeah, that's actually that changes everything up. We were thinking that Morgana was going to be on support. So yeah, that changes completely everything. Okay. Sorry for that, folks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, with with Braum and Lucian, you can get some really strong plays, especially on.
Yeah, even with the Raka sustain, you're going to be able to see some burst and probably some high kill potential bot lane.
That's a lot of CC. That's a lot of damage.
That'll be interesting to kind of just see that dynamic playing out bot.
Yeah, pretty
So yeah,
decent.
I mean that changes up. So mid lane with like Malzahar versus Morgana, you got Morgana with like the heavy wave clearing, you know, with her W on the back wave, and Malzahar, I mean he's not going to really be able to do much till 6. Same with her. I guess it's kind of like a
black
farm
shield
lane.
for the Malzahar.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty huge.
Yeah, that's definitely going to work out to her advantage.
Yeah.
What about the Sion pick top lane? I'm a big fan of Sion. I love his tankiness. It's strange to me. He's one of those champions that has such a high win rate. He's a great tank, but a really, really low play rate.
Yeah, I like him a whole lot. He's got a lot of tanky, safe engage. It's pretty solid. I like that a lot. Like he's got like he has a lot of damage, and you can just build like pretty hybrid and still deal a decent amount.
Yeah, you know, I've seen people like start off with not only just like the corrupted potion, but I've seen people even start off with like a Doran's ring and 2 health pots, and start off with like E. You know, just start going really aggressive, like level 1.
All right, and now we'll throw it over to our casters. No? Oh, okay. But I guess what else we have there is Shyvana.
Yeah, Shyvana in the jungle and whatnot. I'm not really quite sure if we're going to be seeing any like early game invades or anything like that, just because she has such a high clear. You know, she might actually go in for a duel.
Yeah, she's really safe. But
that's really going to be a lot of like the team synergy and stuff like that. Just communicating. This is solo queue, so it's not always easy to get somebody to follow up for a play. Getting everybody on the same page.
Okay. But yeah, I think she's pretty safe though. She's got let's see, she's a really strong mid game, pretty decent late game. And now we'll throw over to our casters. Take it away.
All right. Thank you very much, Tarren. My name is going to be Joshua Kami Dai. Alongside me is going to be Isaac, lame one. Isaac, lame one. Don't know your last name. I forgot that, unfortunately.
Vogler.
Yeah, there you go. I was going to say Vogler. Pretty close. We're going to kick off today's game. We're going to get right into it. We're going to see the jungle starts, and we're going to see what these lanes decide to go with as their starting items.
Yeah, it's actually going to be pretty interesting. Shyvana can do a lot to counter out this Yi pretty early on. He doesn't have quite the early game that she does, so we might see some pretty big plays pretty early on. That'll be pretty interesting.
Yeah, most likely not going to see any invades. There's a little bit of a potential with the Braum taking Ignite to get off that first passive proc with the in-auto attack Q. If he actually does sneak up on this Yi, they can cause a big shift in how the early game is going to go.
Yeah, something else worth noting is that Yi took Exhaust Smite, which is a lot more of an aggressive play and allows him to really make sure he can get those kills with some CC now. But on the other hand, it means he can't do any flash over walls. If he's going in, he doesn't have a way to go out. And that can really cause a bit more of a snowballing game.
Yeah. And what I think we're going to see here is actually the Yi is going to try to hunt down the Shyvana in the jungle, making her potentially the second dragon or the first dragon actually that he goes for in this game. So we'll see how that plays.
Yeah, something that was brought up a little bit by the analyst is that this bot lane on the blue side is really, really safe, or red side, sorry. Soraka Caitlyn is just probably one of the safest, if not the safest lanes you can get. We got the Caitlyn traps. She's got the net she can throw out there if she needs to get away. That plus the Soraka heal is just going to mean that this is probably going to be like one of the most farm-heavy lanes that they could possibly have come up with.
Yeah, and if they do get into an engage where they're standing kind of still, Soraka does have that silence she can drop as well, which will hinder the Braum. Braum does have to leave that circle, which won't be that hard if he's trying to body block for Lucian.
Yeah, even more than that, Lucian's a really big ability-based cast, AD carry. So if he's not able to cast those Qs, those Es in order to get his passive off, he's going to be severely crippled. So we're getting into the Rift now. We're going to see where these go. It's probably going to be a pretty standard start with both red and blue teams starting with that bot lane for those stronger leashes, but we'll see. It might be something a little bit more different.
So we are seeing the Yi is rushing out of the base, of course. And now, something that it looks like very synergetic, the Shyvana and the blue side, they are grouped together. They are a 4. They're looking for the invade right now. They might actually catch this Yi. If he outsteps, he dropped a ward. They took the ward down, not a problem. They do have another ward. It looks like they're just going to go about their ways, start their normal sides now.
Yeah, Cyan is stealing that blue. So something Cyan can do if he really wants to be an aggressive play is he can actually die to a buff, get the kill on it, and then teleport back to lane. Death doesn't actually hurt Cyan all that much because he can get that way extra damage off. You don't lose the buffs anymore after death, and then you can just burn that teleport and get level 2 with a blue buff, and that's crazy good.
Yeah, and with not losing those buffs when you die, that is definitely a potential if he gets executed from the buff. He definitely would have to, I guess, without knowing the buff timer, wouldn't be that much of a big deal. But if he does actually take the full camp for level 2, it potentially could be another signal for Yi to know when that blue buff is up and when Shyvana is going to go for it.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt Shyvana as much as it could some other junglers, like Fiddlesticks maybe, but it is going to slow down her clear by quite a bit, and that'll slow down Devour if she does decide to go take that route.
Right, her gold income is going to be a little bit hindered by that.
Now, this Malzahar is in a bit of a tough predicament because his normal goal is just to push the lane out as fast as possible with that Maleficent Visions, and then the Q maybe for clearing the wave, using those little Voidlings to just push it pretty hard. But Morgana has that pool that she can just throw out and just clear the wave almost instantly.
Yeah, and with Morgana's Dark Soil, it will be hard to actually push that lane in. With the Black Shield as well, if she can do a good job at predicting when the ultimates are going to come out from Malzahar, she's going to have a really easy time in this lane. Now we are seeing that Caitlyn, being a safer opponent than the Lucian in the bot lane, Soraka was able to follow Yi into the jungle and heal him, give him a little bit of sustain, a little bit extra damage on his wolves to get that quick clear out.
It actually looks like Caitlyn had a bit of a problem getting into the game to begin with. Hopefully we can see that sorted out pretty soon here. Yeah, this top line signed with a blue buff. Jeez, just spamming those E's and Q's. There's not much you can do about that. That's a lot of harass.
Especially in the early levels against Trundle. He's not going to be able to get right in his face at the beginning of the game. Now, with the level advantage here, I'm not sure if we're going to see too much aggression coming from Sion because Trundle can steal his AD as well with his bite and kind of just get around his damage with his own buff.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot more of this Sion trying to poke Trundle down, and whether or not that's enough to get through the Trundle passive remains to be seen, but it's definitely going to be a lot more painful for Trundle than it needed to be.
Yeah, but we are going to see the Caitlyn reconnect, so hopefully that's not going to be a problem getting back into the game, farming it back up. Looks like it's going to be an early Shyvana gank with red buff. We'll see how that goes.
It looks like Sion got brought pretty low and ended up going down to the Shyvana gank.
Sion he is gonna go down to first blood. Now Sion is actually gonna pick up that kill as well. That's immensely good for Sion because he came out of a 2v1 situation and popped off. He essentially disabled the rest of the red buff for Shyvana without giving it really to anybody. They went 1 for 1. Of course, it was in the favor of the blue side with them getting that assist as well as the kill.
Yeah, honestly, Sion getting a pretty early lead like that, because the kill did go to the Shyvana, not the Trundle. Sion getting a lead like that against a Trundle can really snowball the lane. Like, he was already down a little bit in CS, which happens. It's probably about even gold because of the fact that it was blue buff. Less CS, but more gold per value. Lucian going pretty hard on the Soraka. Not going to go for full engage, but Soraka can potentially heal it up with a Q.
Yeah, and with the changes with Soraka's Q, it's not going to be so much of a power heal anymore. It's more of a sustained heal. You have to kind of work around how much you're going to get healed and what's really going to come out of that, how you have to play the lane from there. As opposed to where we used to be, it used to be just a flat heal. You used to hit a Q. If you were good at it, you would get health back and you were fine to go right back in. Now you just kind of have to wait it out and see how.
We got a Shyvana gank going in on here. She doesn't have any CC, but she's going to be able to get quite a bit of damage off in this Malzahar.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's not going to be the gank's going to fail a little bit, but it didn't pop any summoner spells. He really didn't have to worry too much. It was just going to be auto attacks. No real threat there. He didn't have to worry about anything. Now, if Shyvana had walked up and potentially caught a bind, it would have been a different story.
Yeah, that said, it does force Malzahar to back, which, he's staying in lane
He's
here.
actually going to stay in lane.
Yeah, he was trying to back. Morgana looks like she got him with a Dark Soil to make him really stay in there. He really does want to back, though. He's pretty low on mana. He might even have enough for a Catalyst. Let me check his gold. Yeah, he's enough for a Catalyst. That's a pretty damn good early Malzahar item. So something like that can really just help him stay in lane, give him that health sustain, that mana sustain he needs.
Right.
Looks like he doesn't have teleport. He does have barriers, so that can really kind of make these backs a little bit more punching than they would have otherwise been.
Yeah, Malzahar with teleport. I mean, he really, to be offensive in the lane.
Oh, Sion gets the ult off.
Does get an ult off and kills Trundle. definitely an easy fight for the Scion. He does have that lead, and he's not tanky enough right now to where if Trundle were to ult him, it would make that much of a difference.
Yeah, Shyvana comes up for the gank, but she went the red jungle item, which is not a bad idea by any means, but it really does mean that she doesn't have any CC at all. So
Yeah,
if he
no
just walks
CC
away.
at all. He actually tried to fight that again. Now, if Brahm's going to catch a passive stack on Soraka, not going to be followed up though. Not a big problem. A little bit of a kind of get away from my ADC poke. But definitely not, it's not going to be a problem for that bot lane.
Yeah, the fact that Caitlyn was out of the match for the first does put her a little bit behind. She's down about.
He does engage on Shyvana here in the jungle. He might pop off a kill. He's going to get stopped by the Trundle pillar, and that's going to be a kill for Trundle. He's going to bite him in just a few seconds. The slow
that was a
in
flash.
He did burn his flash, getting a kill. No real danger there though. Still, Scion was just trying to back him off of that of the Yi, and unfortunately, it just didn't work.
Yeah, honestly, if Scion had a little bit more mana, that he might have been able to fight it. But unfortunately, he hasn't really had time to back very often yet. I think he's only back from a death.
That's going to be a problem. Braum is going to go extremely aggressive here, possibly going to be a kill.
That was a good Soraka pullback.
Yep.
We got a Malzahar behind him. This could be very easily a kill if Malzahar gets the ult off. He gets the ult on.
He's going to ult, and Caitlyn's just going to auto attack. It's going to be a kill.
Yeah.
Easy kill pickup. Braum is actually going to go down if they just follow.
Oh, that was a good flash on Caitlyn.
Follow-up flash by Caitlyn. Unfortunately, not going to be enough. Malzahar going to get it with the Malware through Visions. Again, not going to be enough to kill Morgana. Morgana popping the
yes. Soraka's got to be really careful here. But she's going to have to go down into the Shyvana gank. That was a really good...
It's an easy kill. They stayed for too long. They got the Braum. Caitlyn did flash after that for not...
That's another binding. Is Malzahar going to go down to the diving...
It was a very nice bind, but with Shyvana in those minions, it could have been turned around very easy. They knew to back out of there. Malzahar actually going back in. Yi's going to come back in.
He's going to come in.
Again, literally
one
just
kill. Is he going to go for the
roles.
other? Nah, he's going to pull that out.
He's not going to get it, but it's still... He's looking for it. He's looking for Shyvana to go back in his jungle. It was an amazing display of just a switch up. They went from being on the offensive with Braum almost getting Caitlyn down, potentially, Braum almost getting Soraka down, not happening, turning it around, catching the ultimate with Malzahar and Lucian, Caitlyn picking up an easy kill, and then they overstayed, allowing Shyvana to pick up a kill as well on Caitlyn, Morgana picking up a kill on Caitlyn, Shyvana staying around. And then again, they stayed. Morgan, Shyvana stayed around again, switch up the roles, and allowed Yi to come in and clean that up. So, they both just overstayed for much too long.
Yeah, and honestly, these are seeming like really dynamic fights. Like, this red team's going to probably pick up this dragon here. And that's largely because of how dark the minimap is down there. We've recently had a few wards thrown down, but since it was so dark, we had all these ganks that were able to come in, and neither team knew to pull back. And it just creates this, like, really, really engaging early in.
Yeah, and what I don't think, what was a good idea was Caitlyn did know to not get into early fights with the Braum and Lucian, going that Cole, getting that stacked up. Still coming in with 2 starter items though, the Dorans and the Cole, as opposed to Lucian never getting anything past the Doran's blade first, going straight into his VF sword. It was just a power spike for him that he had to go in as soon as Braum hit that passive, and he did it well. Unfortunately, he just had a Malzahar that was behind him, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, it looks like there was a bit of a skirmish up top. Scion might be able to pick this up.
Slow. That was an extremely nice E from Scion. Gonna come back and hit a quick Q. Yi's gonna just... He was in alpha, bro. He was in alpha.
Yeah, both Yi and Shyvana went Devour, and if Yi can keep getting these kills while able to farm the jungle as efficiently as he is, he can very easily just carry this game by himself.
Yeah.
You pop in to meditate, but Shyvana tries to ult him under turret, doesn't quite make it.
She has red buff on him. He does have his ultimate, which isn't going to allow him to be slowed, but he's going to just leave Scion here to die. If she procs off a Q right here, it's going to be an easy kill.
Yeah.
She just had to follow him with red buff, and there was nothing he could do about it.
That's one of the disadvantages of E. He did have his exhaust up, but besides that, he doesn't really have any way to pull the Shyvana off the fight.
Yeah, and I do see where you were saying that Yi's had a pretty decent time farming this jungle, but if you look at this, the creep difference, Shyvana actually does have 55 CS to Yi's 37, and she's 3-1, which is...
Oh man, the Malzahar ult bringing down Morgana. She's able to pick up the Yi, which gives her quite a bit of gold. I don't think that's a shutdown, but every little bit counts. It's trading 1 for 1.
Yeah, and with Morg able to chase Yi into the jungle, tried to stop the Krugs get, didn't. He smited the Krug. But with her chasing that, picking up the kill, it allowed a free tower and a free red buff for Shyvana for top lane. Trundle's now allowed to roam and just wreak havoc in the jungle. This is going to put Shyvana in a much better position than she was with what she's got. Yi is now 2-2-1, while Shyvana's 3-1 with almost a double CS advantage.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a dive down there by blue team. They were able to go in, manage to pick up the Caitlyn under her own turret. This is just what happens when you're a little bit behind against a Lucian Braum. Like, that's a really tanky and really aggressive lane that can just punish any mistakes you make.
It is an extremely aggressive lane, and the power spike is going to start being extremely prevalent with Lucian rounding up to about double CS as Caitlyn as well. It's not looking very good for the red team right now.
Yeah, blue team looks like they're going to pick up that Rift Herald. I'm not sure if it's going to go to Trundle or Shyvana. Either of those can make pretty good use of it.
They were going to let he had to let Shyvana take that just because of her Devourer stacks. If she hadn't last hit that, yeah, the buff definitely going to Shyvana. Because Trundle took his tower already. Yep. Trundle had no reason to overextend and put himself in any danger by going up there. So it definitely could have went to him to help push mid lane though. Yeah. He could have stayed in mid lane and tried to take that tower, siege that, or even potentially stayed around the bot lane if his teleport was coming up soon.
Now for a quick check, both the junglers are at 12 Devourer stacks. 12 minutes, that's pretty good. They're both gonna be max stacks, probably about 20 minutes. That's decent. Like,
it's average.
Yeah,
it's definitely average.
Both of those junglers can make a lot of use with it. Shyvana, all of her effects are based on auto attack, so she can, buff those up. Yi has a lot of true damage coming out from his E.
Yep, and the thing that the red team does have is that first dragon pressure. They have that first dragon advantage, which allows their Caitlyn, it allows their Caitlyn and their Scion and their Malzahar to kind of get that damage buff. Just a little bit that makes it a little more significant.
Yeah, we got the Morgan going on.
Binding going.
It manages to land completely. Malz isn't even able to ult the Trundle under the turret. He was just going to go down. He probably wanted to save it up.
Yeah,
good with it.
The Morgana had the chains already locked on. She missed a Q. She missed her binding, which wasn't extremely significant. But with that binding hitting, Trundle was just able to pick up an easy kill.
Yeah, quick little check. Malzahar's ult is actually on cooldown. He must have tried to use it pretty early in that fight, and it didn't quite work out.
It looks like Morg coming into that fight, Morg did have her black shield on her. Potentially, she predicted that and got away without any repercussions with using that.
A bit of a whiff Scion all there trying to engage on the Trundle, not quite able to make it work.
Always that train that Scion is coming down the top lane. You never like to hear that sound, especially if a Scion's ahead.
Yeah, this Shyvana is just owning this Trundle's jungle.
Shyvana's just rushing in. He's not. He has no fear.
Yeah, pretty aggressive jank. Yep. We got a pretty good team fight on here. Lucian's just whittling down the back lines, forcing Soraka out. This is just going to be a pretty handed fight.
It was an easy Braum. It was an easy Braum passive. Stacked it on the Yi. It wasn't really anything they could do there. What I would like to see here happen though is the Caitlyn get farmed enough to where her core items start becoming in effect. Because if she's able to stay far enough away from the Yi, the Shyvana. If she's able to stay far enough away from the Shyvana, while with Malzahar peel, with Scion peel, with Soraka, healing her, she potentially could get into a good position to win some of these fights for them. Of course, she is 1-2 with 70 CS to Lucian's 128. It's not a loser, or it's not an automatic loss though.
It looks like both teams are just going to try to start forming these little skirmishes, try to get these fights to snowball it. Blue team's up 5,000 gold. That's a pretty substantial lead. That's what, like 25%? You can very easily win the game off that. But red team's going to try to make some picks happen. If they can get one or two of those, they might be able to pull this back.
Now, what we're seeing here though is as the mid game approaches, the blue team is actually they're not looking so hard to siege these towers. Bot lane has taken the tower, but mid lane is still up, and it doesn't look like it's going down anytime soon. Another just quick engage. It looks like Braum's pass is going to go off. A flash from Scion. Not even a flash thing. It's going to, let's see. Another flash from Shyvana. Not going to be enough to kill anybody. Just kind of, testing out their damage there.
Yeah, Scion's looking for the counter engage with his ult up. If he can get one of those off on maybe one or two of them, that is a dead target, I guess.
Sure.
Mal's managed to get the ult off on the Shyvana, and that almost took her out. She got out with probably
very
1 or
close.
200 health.
Yeah, exactly, and that would have been nice shutdown gold though to get for him.
Oh yeah.
It would have been very nice to. Now they did siege his tower, and it looks like they're going to go straight for that second dragon. with that second dragon, they're gonna put their lead. They're gonna put the deficit that they have a little bit, behind them, and get this tower pushing potential where they can possibly siege and get into late game with more towers taken than the blue side.
Lucian went for the steal with the ult, couldn't quite get it off. Looks like Sion's just trying to peel him back, but he might go down to the Braum passive.
No, pops his ultimate that makes him unstoppable. Not going to get anything off of that. They wasted a lot of resources there trying to get him down. Not going to be anything coming from that.
Yeah, blue team's looking for the chase, but not quite sure they're going to be able to pick any of these guys up.
Yeah, they're just going to be able to get away here.
He does get caught by the pillar.
Oh,
but
wow, the nice. It looks like it's going to be a knock-up. Not going to be enough. He's going to get stunned. He's going down to the ultimate. Trundle and Lucian just going to take him out, take him apart.
Yeah, red team's just trying to pull back, save what they can. Soraka's being forced to back there. She's pretty low on mana. Actually, all of the red team is low on mana.
They're very low on mana. It's just going to leave this red tower, the second tier tower on the bot side, just open for a siege. There's a Trundle. There's a Lucian, and their their top lane minion wave is just growing exponentially by the second, and it's going to be enough pressure to get Sion to not go back to that bot lane.
Yeah, Sion's honestly just trying to cut his losses, trying to save that top turret from the minions taking it out.
And we see that goes down. Now look at the global gold as well as the local gold going in for that tower it was a lot. They got all 5 of the team there for the local gold on the blue side, and it puts their lead in gold up by about 6K.
Yeah, quick look at builds. Malzahar has managed to finish his row, and it looks like
Teleport coming in from Sion. It's going to potentially save this tower, but it looks like it's just going to be nothing going on for me. He's going to get popped by Braum passive. Lucian
he does pop a little bit of an ult there, trying to go in, but decides against it. That is the saddest thing when you teleport into a turret that's about to die, because you don't want to cancel your teleport and burn a cooldown for nothing. But like going in isn't really the right decision anyways.
He did waste that though. That was a wasted teleport that's going to be down for another 3 minutes. It's going to be down and not, it's not going to be useful for him. Trundle potentially getting caught out here. He looks like he's going up to try to get that cannon minion, and that almost caught him out.
Yeah, it's unfortunate Sion burned his ult for a few steps back there, because if he had managed to pop that right there, it probably
Shyvana caught. It's going to be an easy kill. He's going to follow. He was in alpha, bro. He just got it. It's easy. It's easy for you to come back.
Trundle's trying to get out. He has to burn
Trundle's going to burn his flash, and they're going to follow him. He's going to try to go into this 1v4. That's not going to be a good idea at all. Looks like his team is converging.
This is a really caught. Yeah, blue team just caught him out. Morgana gets the 3-man ult.
The 3-man ultimate. He was in alpha. He's still going to go down though. Easy kills. Sion with his passive going to try to pick up something. Not going to get anything. He got Lucian actually. He picked up Lucian really quick, just to show how much damage the Sion passive gets, and that's going to be a 3-4.
Yeah, we got lots.
Wow, it's actually going to be a 3-for-4.
Is it?
In that fight.
Wow, yeah. Just a note here. Red team has a lot of armor. They're really worried about the Trundle, Shyvana, and Lucian, but on that note, they're also really just kind of getting shredded by that Morgana's Dark Pool. When she throws that down, like Malzahar in that fight, for instance, he was just kind of unable to use his ult. If he had popped that ult, give it 1 or 2 seconds, and he's going to die from the pool. Nobody even has to attack him.
It would have been a little bit of a different story for sure. Now with Morg just being able to walk into their team, hit a bind on Soraka so that she's not really in the fight anymore, and then walk into the back line while they're focusing the Rift Herald, and get off that ultimate on 3 people was immense for that fight. It was extremely important that the red team just let her walk through that. It was like it's not even a fair fight then. You get 3 stuns and they have no way to retaliate. Yi has no CC. He's trying to get around the fight, do a little bit of damage to the carries, and he's not able to find anything for that.
Yeah.
So
looks like in another minute or 2 we're gonna have both these Devourers fully stacked. That's when Yi really does hit that on button. He's gonna have his Devourer sated. He's gonna have that Bork. It looks like he's probably going to upgrade his boots pretty soon. Trundle's looking for a fight here. Doesn't know if he wants it or not. Doesn't really see how many enemy team there are there. And he doesn't want to.
It looks like he was putting a little bit of vision down, it did get cleared. Now, when Yi now has Sated Devour and Blade of the Ruin King, it looks like if their team can stay alive long enough, the other team doesn't have any armor.
Yeah.
The blue team doesn't have any armor built right now, and that's going to be a problem if Yi can just stay away from CC and let his team take the damage.
Yeah, Soraka just got picked off. I don't know if this is a fight that red team can win anymore. They might need to just give up that turret. Having Soraka really does allow you to make more of these aggressive plays when you're behind, but her just getting caught by that binding kind of ended
with
it.
no healing, no silences, no anything like that. It's not going to be a fight that they want under this tower. Shyvana looking like she's actually going to come over that wall with her ultimate and try to engage something. Yi popping some vision, quick ward takeout by Shyvana with the auto attack Q proc. Resetting that and just taking that vision completely away from them.
Now, a second consequence of blue team not really having any armor, they don't have the option of just tanking this turret. That's a really common thing that you'll start to see when teams get ahead. Shyvana goes in with the ult.
She's going to go in with the ultimate. They're going to dive this. Yi's still just on the back line. He's popping his ultimate, gets Lucian. We can't see it, but it looks like Yi's going to go down, but they do get a 2-for-1 here.
Caitlyn ult brings Braum down to like 50 health. That was so close to getting her a kill and really keeping her back into the match.
Yep. Now, Soraka did come into the late end of that fight. The tail end of that fight, Soraka gets back and allows them to live for a little bit longer.
Looks like Sion's getting dove. He might fall here, but Trundle's forced to back off.
Yeah, he had the black shield on him. Not really any danger there. He's trying to watch out for the damage coming from Trundle, but Trundle couldn't have tanked that turret. Not for long. And if the black shield hadn't been there, if Sion hit a knockup or a slow even, it would have been a different story. He probably would have he would have came out with a kill on that.
Now, Soraka built the Ardent Sensor. She's just trying to give her Caitlyn and Yi as much of a buff as she can. She recognizes that the enemy team doesn't have much armor yet, so any buff she does give, although it is a magic on hit effect, any buff she does give to help these two snowball a little bit can really start swinging the game more back in their favor.
Yep, and unfortunately for the red team, we are going to see the blue team pick up an easy dragon here, and the damage that they already had is going to be just amplified by just that much, and it's going to be a harder fight for the red team to come back from now.
Luckily for them, a lot of the blue team's damage is more base damage oriented. The scaling is pretty nifty for the Lucian and the Shyvana, but it's not going to be quite as punishing as if they had like a Vega or something on their team.
Right.
So Malzahar, I don't think we've brought this up before. He does have a Dark Seal, so he has decided that he needs to get that stacked. If he is able to get that stacked, he can potentially turn this game around. Malzahar that's fed can single-handedly win games very easily.
But is it too late? Is it too late with the 5 kill deficit they have? With
he gets the ult off.
Going to be ulting the Shyvana.
Yeah, not quite enough. She doesn't have any MR, but she does have a huge amount of brute health, and he just can't appeal to that.
His team wasn't there for that. He ulted that, and no one came in to support that decision. If Yi had popped on him, he potentially could have killed that Shyvana in a few Devourer hits.
Now, something worth noting about this gold difference, blue team is up by about 6,000 gold. Malzahar's only down by like 100. So he's still a very major threat. He stayed relevant in this game throughout.
He is still 4-2. He did notice that he died a few times and that he doesn't want to be the one that's in the fights. He's staying in the back. He's making sure he tries to get his ultimate off, and he tries to get his silence, his void. I'm sorry, his W. I'm not sure of the name. Yeah, and his he's gonna try to get his Malrific visions on high priority targets, Lucian and such. It's gonna be another Braum passive coming in. Sion popping his ultimate, gonna get away from that, but he's wasting his ultimate now. He's just using it to use it.
Now, something I do love about Sion is that his ultimate is kind of versatile. Like, it's on a very low cooldown. He's able to kind of burn it whenever he needs to. It's 80 seconds right now. Yeah, it's probably not going to be up for the next fight, but Sion's going to be up for the next fight. That's pretty worthwhile.
It is. And he did come in with a nice engage right here after he teleported.
Morgana
again just coming in from the back. She's just allowed to just go in the back, get that ultimate off, and they're going to pick up an ace right here.
Yeah, this might actually be an inhib right here. If not, the blue team might peel off and decide to go for Baron. We'll see what they decide to do.
I think what they're going to try to do with Lucian being full health and Shyvana and Trundle there, with how much siege potential they have, they're going to take this into the inhib and then potentially go get Baron.
If so, that might be the one time where red team does have potential to come back. That's a little bit of a late Baron, and they can seal that pretty easily.
True, they can, but they do have some pretty decent death timers right now. They're not going to be extreme, but they do have to watch out for defending that inhib. Now, if they don't back and go to take it, they potentially could still do that. What we want to pay attention to, though, is that the Morgana was just able to walk right into the back line and literally just get off a 5-man ult. Or a 4-man ult, I'm sorry. But nonetheless, it destroyed their team. Their team comp had no option to work around that. Yi was in the front trying to do damage. I'm sorry, Sion was in the front trying to do damage. And the rest of them literally just faded away. They faded out, they got caught, they tried to back up, didn't get enough distance, got popped by the Morgana ult, And the tower dive was too easy then. The Trundle had the Scion ulted. He was too tanky. Shyvana had too much HP. And they had too much damage with Lucian coming in from the back line. They had no way to win that fight when Morgana got into the back line for free.
Yeah, we do see some blue pings going down on that Baron. Trundle has teleport, so he's going to try to split push. It's a pretty standard strategy. He's going to split push that bot, force one of them to come on down there. And after that, we're going to have this Baron fight. And we'll see how it goes. Red team does have potential to steal it, and that's what they kind of need here. Looks like blue team has decided, actually, instead just to push this wave into mid lane, they might just try to exert whatever pressure they can and take out these turrets one by one. If red team's not able to start a very solid fight here, then there's not much they can do about it. So it looks like there's a fight going down there between Scion and Yi. Yi does a lot of true damage, and he is actually, Trundle and Yi, sorry. Looks like he's going to go down to the Trundle Chomp. That reduces his damage by a whole lot. Yi is very attack speed based. So
with the bite coming in from Trundle, it's a really hard 1v1 there. They're just pushing on the towers. There's nothing they can do. They don't have a Yi for damage anymore. They have the 1 in 3 Caitlyn is not doing as much damage as she should be doing. And there's not anything they can really do against this tower push. They don't have the AOE that they need to clear these waves. And Trundle is still heavily splitting.
Yeah, it looks like blue team's just going to take this free inhib. They might just try to push this for the win right here.
Yeah, it looks like they're able to just push on this.
Yeah, they're just picking up these kills whatever they can. He's still down for another few seconds.
Yeah.
He might be able to clean up here, but it's pretty unlikely at this point.
They're just kind of poking around, making sure that the Lucian stays in the back and everything.
Malzahar gets the ult off on Morgana, doesn't really do anything.
It doesn't look like it's gonna be enough.
The Voidling's able to get the last hit on her.
Yeah, a 4-man knockup by Scion as well. Not going to be enough to save the game, unfortunately for the red team.
Yeah, but padding that KDA is all you really need.
Correct. And so that was the game. We are going to toss it back to our analyst desk, and they're going to break down what happened in some of these team fights, some of the replays.
All right, thanks, guys. So we saw a lot happen in that game, especially with the junglers. I think that was a pretty jungler-centric.
Yeah, you could tell right from the beginning with the pick ban phase, just by those 3 heavy jungle bans, you could tell right away that it was going to be jungle-oriented.
Yeah, with the Master Yi and Shyvana, 2 very farm-heavy junglers. They got pretty, not late game, but I got like mid game, almost late game. So
we saw some spikes there.
Yeah, we saw some big spikes, in damage. Scion tried making some big plays.
I believe, a lot of them were big.
Didn't work out super well, but he tried making some big plays. A lot of big team fights that happened in that game. A whole lot of huge ones, especially in the jungles. Like Shyvana invaded red side jungle with the Caitlyn and Braum at one point, and caught out Master Yi. Keeping him from...
Yeah, that was fairly early.
Yeah,
that was definitely was a nice play.
Yeah, it kept him from snowballing like he wanted to, and it didn't let him do what he wanted that game.
Yeah, I know that we saw like not too early of a first blood, nothing too heinous. It was 340 in top lane. I believe that was Scion that snagged that.
Yeah, Scion picked it up. The Shyvana actually also picked it up, or picked up the other kill, which is a big problem because that meant that the other top laner didn't get the gold. So he was actually put behind by that.
Yeah, kind of almost starved it. Yeah.
All right, looks like
we're going to be
about to get
pulling up a replay right now.
All right, this is happening top lane. This looks like a late game team fight. See, Scion wants to back really bad. He's pretty low. Blue side is all 100% grouped here. Scion back. He's TPing, heading back in. All right, they're playing footsies right now.
Got a little bit of a dancing going on.
Yep, throwing out skill shots.
And you see Caitlyn get wrecked by a Q on Morgana, and Morgana throws down a 4-man ult.
Yeah, Sion's doing absolutely nothing this fight because all the CC that he got put on him. And so he's left alone after his whole team got cleaned up by the enemy's front line, especially the Shyvana. That was huge.
Oh, yeah, that and Morgana. That was just the Morgana laying the Q down on Caitlyn, getting in there with that 4-man ult was ridiculous, leading to that ace.
That was huge.
So that was really nice. That led to an ace for the team as well as getting a tower down. That actually was transitioning almost. That was late game. That was pretty much the game-winning play. I'd like to say at that point.
That was the winning play. After that, they pushed in. No problems after that point. Like they just kept pushing in. They just had sheer power.
Oh yeah, they had so much siege potential, and they had the tanks there ready to follow up with it.
A whole lot of like at a certain point, blue side had a whole lot more power just because the amount of invades and amount of pressure they had exerted that game. Like every one of their members at the end of that game had like a pretty decent amount of gold and kills to them. So like just overall, the pressure exerted by Shyvana kept everybody ahead, and it led to the end of that just being like them getting the red side getting snuffed out just by sheer power.
Yeah, I totally agree
Shyvana
with
could
that.
just dive and just do whatever she wanted.
It was just, I mean, when she got that, fully sated as well, that was that was scary. Her damage spike went up, and she was already so tanky at that point. She was able just to run in and continue just wrecking the back line.
Yeah, big damage. And sadly, we didn't see. Well, not sadly. What's called? Soraka wasn't able to do a whole lot that game.
Yeah, I was a little bit upset, hoping that she'd be able to hold off more sustain.
There was,
I know we had that mishap originally, thinking that Morgana might have been bot lane, so that would have definitely changed the dynamic. But
there was a lot of a bit more aggressive aggression than she could deal with that game.
Yeah, Lucian with a couple of those early kills and stuff, it really just kind of set him up for the lane as well. Just I believe it was Malzahar who came bot lane for that gank roaming from mid, and it really changed the dynamic of bot lane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like normal bot lane,
Yep.
Yeah. A whole lot of people coming down.
It was just unfortunate, it kind of put Caitlyn behind in the farm and whatnot, and from there it just kind of started taking advantage, like little by little, just.
On top of that, Shiv.
Big old snowball almost in every lane.
Yep. All right, going to another replay. All right, here. Okay, blue side jungle fight. Looks like Yi wants to pick up a kill on Shyvana, get some revenge for some of those early game invades. He does pick it up here. Yep.
Even though she flashed, he got that Q perfect.
Yep,
that was
a perfect Q. He was an alpha. Trundle flashes over the wall, but then comes back because he wants to continue the fight.
Yeah, he's trying to hold it off. He doesn't, he wants to get his team there ready for this Baron fight.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Soraka gets picked off by the Morgana. Trundle is just slapping people right now. Okay.
Just going crazy. That Morgana is just perfect at positioning yourself with that ultimate, that flash in there.
The Lucian positioning as well. Like the Lucian position allowed him to get damage on both of the front line, or the front people who were in the front line right there.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
That was pretty good. That was a really good referral to fight.
So yeah, that was definitely really interesting right there. Seeing Trundle just kind of dance around, trying to prevent that Baron from being taken place.
Yep. There's pretty big stuff there. A lot of big objective control by both teams. Honestly, there was a lot of objective fighting, which I like to see a lot.
Yeah, it really kind of gets like that whole team dynamic going on. It's really fun to see when they're all coming together and clashing. Even though it's solo queue, it's interesting to see like what page everybody is on and how that plays out.
Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff that game. It's called I guess the big point of that game was like the team fight comps, like their overall comps. Like blue side, like both sides seem to have pretty good team fight comps, but the blue side like had more dive, had more engage than the red side. The red side had a Scion, but his ult was never up and ready at the right time.
There was a lot of times I felt almost when you saw Scion, I don't want to say waste, but use it as an escape, not as that full-on engage. We weren't able to see Scion truly be a tank.
Yeah, so when like Shyvana came by, there was nothing to do there. Like he had no way of like getting to her back line. He just had to watch.
Yeah, they were just snuffed out. So thank you for tuning in to Michigan State University eSports. We've been your analyst, Bobby.
Tarren.
And our next game starts here at 4 p.m. Eastern. Check us out.
Peace.